we're at the end of the month, so that must mean that it's time for my monthly favourites. And I don't have a great deal of products this month, it's quite a small little selection, but the products that I have here I've absolutely been obsessed with this month, so here we go. So the first product I've probably mentioned in the last like 5 or 6 videos, it's constantly on my blog at the moment, but it's the Bourjois Bronzing Primer, and I have just fallen absolutely in love with this product. As a primer it is awful, it is really bad, it just makes your skin look bright orange and it doesn't really help your makeup stay on. But as a bronzer, a cream bronzer, it's just absolutely beautiful. It sort of blends in seamlessly into your skin, and I've been using it with the Real Techniques buffing brush, just dabbing a little bit in and literally buffing it into my cheekbones, just along the centre of my face, and it just warms your skin up without looking like you've actually put bronzer on. So because it blends in so perfectly, you can't even tell that you're wearing it. The only tiny little problem with that though is because it's a cream product, it doesn't quite have the longevity of like a powder bronzer. So I've been using the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, just kind of sprayed over the top to set it down, and really to kind of like set all my makeup down as well, because I'm really not a fan of using powders. I will take them down, just the T-zone, just to kind of set everything in, but I just don't really like the cakey look that they can give, and even just the lightest powder on me looks cakey for some reason. I really need to get my hands on like the Chanel Les Beige powder or the Hourglass ambient lighting powders, because they're supposed to be the ultimate like dewy looking powder. But for now I've just been settling with this setting spray, which is lovely. It's kind of like spraying hairspray onto your face, I guess that's the whole like premise behind it. But it really kind of helps everything stay in place, and it doesn't feel kind of tight on the skin, you can't really feel it at all, and it's oil free as well, so it really just sticks everything down. I've got a few skincare products here, and the first one I've kind of snuck into this favourites. I've only had it for probably about 2 weeks now, but I absolutely love it, and it's the Origins Ginzing Energy Boosting Moisturiser. And you should all know that I'm a massive fan of the Ginzing eye cream from Origins, and I was just sort of randomly on the Origins website one day and this came up on the homepage, and I had a little kind of panic attack and I had to buy it straight away. I'd probably like gone through the whole checkout process within about 2 minutes of seeing it. But it's a really lovely day cream actually. It's very light, it's almost kind of oil free, I don't know if it actually is, but it has a very gel like texture, so it's thin and it doesn't kind of feel too heavy on the skin, which is great because I don't like using a heavy cream in the mornings. You know, if I'm wearing makeup I don't like feeling that kind of heavy texture underneath it. But it's very brightening and it kind of really keeps a lot of hydration packed into the skin. So far I am just loving this. I'm going to do a proper review of this on my blog, so there'll be a whole lot to read about it soon. But for now I just can't get enough of it. And on top of that I've been using the Kiehls Ultralight Daily UV Defense SPF 50, and I always like to make sure I protect my skin with a sun protection, whether it's, you know, in the middle of summer or if it's, you know, winter and it's raining, or right now when it is actually supposed to be spring but looking out the window it's pouring with rain. But it's just a very lightweight SPF, which is quite rare to find with a factor 50 because it tends to be the higher the SPF the thicker the cream, but this is so lightweight I can just put it on top of my moisturiser, go straight onto my makeup, and I can't really notice a difference. It doesn't make it feel heavier or greasier. Now it's quite commonplace for an Essie nail varnish to pop up in my monthly favourites, but this month I've actually been loving Rimmel nail varnishes, and they've just released these 2 new ones. This is from the Kate Moss for Rimmel range. They're the Salon Pro with Lycra, and this formula is amazing. It's really long wearing, they don't chip. You do get a tiny bit of tip wear I'd say after a couple of days, but that's much better than having a big chunk chipped out of it. And I really like the colours actually. They've got, this is peppermint and hip hop, and I'm not really into wearing reds, but it's just the nicest kind of orangey red. I think that kind of suits my skin tone a bit better when a red's got a really kind of orangey undertone in it. And this one, not that I needed another mint coloured nail polish, but I bought it anyway because it's sort of, it's minty, but it's more of a bluey mint, I guess. It's more of like a toned down one, it's not so bright, but I really like the colour of those. I've also got a slightly different one here. This is the 60 Second formula in Rose Libertine, and this is an Essie button influenced purchase. This is what started it all off, my little Rimmel phase, but she did a blog post on this and it just looked like a real pretty pink colour, like a really summery spring colour. So I picked it up, and the thing I like about these polishes as well, I think they've all got it, is this really thick wand. It's quite similar to the new Essie ones, but it just kind of makes nail varnish so simple to put on. You can basically do your entire nail with one stroke of the brush. So my next favourite is a little bit of an odd one. It's not quite beauty related, so bear with me, but it's the Sure Pure Protection Anti-Perspirant, and I'm someone who's quite funny about smells. Most kind kind of artificial or perfumey smells tend to give me a headache like instantly. As soon as I smell them, I just get a really kind of weird sort of bad headache. And it kind of applies to most like deodorants and antiperspirants and things, because they tend to have that kind of really fake kind of artificial smell kind of put into them. They're like quite sweet, and sometimes they can be kind of like overly powdery and overly flowery. But the thing about this one is it has absolutely no scent to it at all. It's 0% alcohol, parabens, colorants, and no perfume at all. So it literally has no scent to it at all, and it's nice because it doesn't interfere with your kind of smell of your perfume. So you can put this on and then your perfume on top, and it just kind of leaves you smelling quite fresh, but it doesn't kind of get kind of too fake smelly, if you know what I mean. So yes, that's been quite a favourite this month. And then last of all, speaking of perfumes, I have the Essie Bronze Goddess perfume here, and again I've mentioned this in quite a few posts, quite a few videos this month, and I've just been wearing it absolutely non-stop. It seems to be quite the perfume of the moment. I actually work in a beauty hall, some of you may know, and literally as soon as you walk in it just smells of Bronze Goddess. Every single person in the beauty hall wears this most days, so that's all I smell pretty much all day while I'm at work. But it's just the perfect sort of summer fragrance. It smells like coconutty and vanilla-y, but quite citrusy at the same time. It's just pretty much holiday in a bottle. So if you do have an Estee Lauder counter nearby you, I recommend to go and smell it, because it will just make you feel like you're actually on holiday. So those are all my favourites, and I hope you enjoyed that. Quite short and sweet this month, but I will see you all soon in my next video.